Welcome
Hello.
to Stress, Pubs and Rock and Roll episode 4.
Welcome.
I'm Simon.
I'm Kirsty.
How did we get to episode 4, man? It's gone quick. Feels like ages since the last time.
Yeah. It's gone quick, but it's been 3 months.
Yeah, we've gone international, baby.
Yeah, man.
So anyway, yeah, we've been looking at the stats, and thank you to everyone who's been listening, because it's building. In fact, episode 3, so I've heard, was one of our funniest ones, apparently, according to the feedback. And actually, stats-wise, it's ranking as our best episode so far.
Is it?
Well, kind of.
Oh, that's cool, though.
Episode 1, I think everyone's listening to the first one and going back.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're doing pretty well. So we've been listened to in the States, in New Zealand, in Canada, Vietnam, Cambodia, Spain, France. I could go on.
That's pretty cool, though.
It's pretty good, man.
Yeah.
For a what started as a Berkshire-based music podcast.
Yeah. It's taken off, which is really, really good, and it's really positive for us, I think.
Yeah, so
it's good.
Thanks. Thank you for sticking with us. We've got a sponsor as well.
Yes.
Going up in the world, man. Listen, let me give a shout out to Brixton Streetwear for being our official sponsor until they get bored of us. So thank you very much. If you want to check them out, they're on Instagram, Brixton Streetwear 1977. Some pretty awesome stuff.
Yeah.
I like it. So thanks, guys, for being on board. What have you been doing? You've always been busy doing random
something.
stuff.
Yeah, and the news of a clothing sponsor actually reminded me of a funny story. When we had a clothing sponsor, however, it wasn't quite the clothing sponsor you'd imagine.
Oh, God. Is this for your band?
It was, yeah. So we had this vision.
Sponsored by a pant company or something. Oh, have I ruined it? Go on.
Not quite, but... So we had this vision of... We'd been to see the Yeah Yeah Yeahs, and we'd also watched some other bands who are big on their theatrics, and we had this vision of having gold suits, kind of, you know, we'd gone from the yellow, we were very, like, our image was yellow, and we'd gone from this, and we thought, wow, gold, we're going to do this big show.
Wow,
and we just
what a departure from yellow.
Yeah, I know. We just thought we'd make it a little bit more special. So what happened was I actually made my own gold suit, and the guys got a little bit jealous. Well, we need our own suits as well. Bearing in mind that my gold suit was a skin-tight lycra catsuit kind of affair. So they ordered these, for lack of a better word, leotards from a company. And the company said that they would sponsor us and put us on their website, and obviously we could do the same should we use their leotards. So they arrived...
They were actually leotards?
Yeah, they were like all-in-one leotards. So they came. Oh, this just is so funny. They came and they were yellow, but they were sort of see-through-y. They had sort of a turtleneck.
Turtleneck. Oh, that's what you want from a suit, is a turtleneck.
A skin-tight suit with a turtleneck all the way up.
What I love about that is that turtlenecks are like the most modest thing ever. And yet down below, it's like, woo.
Oh, you could see all sorts. It could have been amazing, or we could have been arrested. I don't know, but
yeah, probably the latter. But
that was the best clothing sponsor I've ever had up to date until today. Until now.
That is amazing. This is why I don't buy anything from ASOS. I bought something from ASOS once, and it was it was just a t-shirt, but it was kind of the cut of it was like a kind of a V-neck thing. Yeah. And I got it through and tried it on, and I was like, wow, this looks really camp. It was like really tight fitted and just looked really, and I was like, why didn't it look camp in the picture? And I went back at the website and I was like, oh, he's a model.
He probably had super pecs and massive arms.
He was pretty
and everything.
buff.
Yeah.
He couldn't have looked camped if he was wearing a yellow golden leotard with a turtleneck.
Could have pulled it off.
So that was the last time I bought anything from ASOS. This is a pretty long t-shirt. Look at that. That is straight out of the 90s. That is. I bought it
That's like
from Primark. I just needed a t-shirt desperately the other day, and I bought it, and it's like a 90.
That's middle-aged woman territory.
That is.
Covering up your
there is some definite
bums and tums and all of that. That's what that kind of t-shirt is. It's a Bums and Tums t-shirt.
Ah, it's not good.
No, and it's black.
I think our
which is
sponsors may be
slimming.
regretting their choice of co-hosts right now.
No, it's fine. It's edgy. It's
edgy. This is why it's a podcast, not a video cast or whatever they call it. What's it called? A vlog.
A vlog.
A vlog.
Our video cast.
Oh, I was in the middle of drinking a cup of tea and you made me laugh. And
That's
spat it out over the
amazing.
mixing desk. I do apologise.
Oh, it's all right. It's ours now, right?
Yeah, well, we haven't paid for it yet, so... Oh, do you know what? This is, again, off topic, but if you've been listening to the other 3 episodes, this is a common theme. You will have come as no surprise that go off on tangents. I spilt my coffee over my laptop today, and it's been really weird all day. The mouse keeps moving on its own. It might do it in a minute if you keep watching. It keeps shutting down. It's like, you know when someone takes over remotely your thing? Yeah, it's a bit like that. Been like it all day since I spilt my coffee over it this morning.
Caffeine overdose.
I've sent 3 emails today, like half finished. Because I've just been typing and my mouse has just gone, I'm going to send.
It's
Boom.
just done it. Oh my God.
You're done.
It's possessed. I think
Yeah, it
that's
is.
what's happened.
And I didn't want to take it to IT and say, spilt my coffee on it, because it's only been about 2 weeks since I took my phone in and said it'd been through the washing machine. So we actually did a gig together recently.
Yes.
Call it a gig.
Wait, it was a gig.
It was a gig. It was actually pretty good. I say that only because we didn't rehearse or even practice. Now, you may have wrongly assumed that me and Kirsty do play in bands together, but we don't. We've got separate bands, and very rarely do we actually play any music together. But we both happened to be at a VDub festival at the same time, and in fact, I wasn't even supposed to be playing either. I was just going to go and chill out.
Yeah.
And you were there because you got a VDub.
Yeah, I was there for the cars.
I got a call saying someone had dropped out on the band stage, so I said, yeah, okay, yeah, I'll play. And then I was like, hang on, Kirsty's there, she sings. So,
Can I get Kirsty to do most of the work? What?
yeah, let's make Kirsty sing with no rehearsal.
Yeah, it was. I think I did all right.
You did well.
I have no idea. I don't know.
There were some people saying very nice things, and whether they were lying or not, I'm taking it at face value. We were great.
Yeah, we got a good band name suggestion though, didn't we?
Oh my God, what was it?
Bearded Clown.
Oh, Beard. Yeah. We said at the beginning of the set, we've never played together before. If anyone wants to give us a band name, obviously after just recording the podcast episode about band names, I thought it might be quite good. So we said, oh, while you haven't listened to us, have a think about it and come up and give us a band name at the end. Only suggestion we got was Bearded Clam.
Which is disgusting when you
Which
think
is
about it.
Wrong-a-thon. It is.
That stayed with me.
Yeah.
For all the wrong reasons.
I've dreamt about that. It's not good. Sort of thing that
I'm sure many have.
So what other stuff have you been up to?
I went on a crash course to DJing.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, you know what I'm gonna say. I was there.
I do, and I just want to see how you describe this damn thing. This is the single weirdest. It's not actually. It's one of the weirdest things I've seen or witnessed.
Well, it's not.
I've only seen it in
okay,
pictures.
so
Go on.
yeah,
explain
so
it.
I get asked to do very strange things sometimes, and not, probably weirder than most things people get asked to do. And one of the weird things I get asked to do is to become a character that is part of my friend's music act, right? So this character is a huge mascot cat head. Oh, that's the only way I could describe it. So it's just the cat head.
Like someone dressed up, like in a giant mascot suit.
Yeah,
like you get
so
a sports ground, right?
Yeah, exactly. So you get like Siri the squirrel or something, but it's a cat, but it's just the head. There's no other parts of it, and the rest of the cat is me, just as a person. And then I have to either dance, G up the crowd, or DJ, which is the last thing that I had to do was DJ. And the thing is,
It's amazing.
I vaguely got down the DJing. Bear in mind, I only had a couple of weeks to learn how to do it and to use brand new software and technology that I've never ever used before in my life. But then to top it off, I have to wear a cat head, and you have no peripheral vision at all in this thing, and you have to look through a pink gauze. Okay, so everything you can see is pink and hazy, and then on top of that, you can't look down or to the sides. You have I field of vision, maybe, what would you say that was, about 5 inches, maybe, across your eyes, maybe.
It's amazing. We'll post a picture on our webpage.
You do not understand how difficult it is to DJ in a cat head.
That's actually on my bucket list, not being a cat DJ, but like dressing up as a mascot.
Mascotting.
Yeah. I've got really low expectations on my bucket list.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Also on my bucket list is driving around the M25 without stopping.
All the way around?
Yeah, all the way around.
You're going to pay the,
I'll
toll thing?
Yeah.
Jeez.
I think it'll be fun.
Aspirations.
I know. Woohoo! Live on the edge. My number one.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure how I do this. I want to drive one of those things that does the ice rinks. You know, the machines that go...
Oh, that refreeze it. Yeah. Isn't that in...
I don't know how you get to do it.
Deadpool?
I've not seen Deadpool. I feel like it would just make me jealous now.
Oh, yeah, it would.
No, so that's top of my... I really want to do that.
What's the other movie that's in? It's a Adam Sandler movie, isn't it? And they sing My Love. He sings My Endless Love.
That's brilliant. Love that. What is that film? That is is it Happy Gilmore?
I think it's Happy Gilmore.
I think it is. And they're doing they're singing and the guy's doing it behind.
Yeah, because he plays ice hockey, doesn't he? So that makes sense. Yes.
Love that film.
That's, yeah.
I went to watch the golf at Wentworth last week, and I just wanted to shout, like, in the hole! Go home!
That is so... everybody knows that quote, I'm sure they do.
I love that. So, I was looking at music-related news this week. I didn't find stuff about bands I hated.
Good.
For once.
Good.
I found some fairly random stuff. Bob Dylan's launching a new whiskey, which I feel is, like, let's be honest, probably has very little to do with Bob Dylan.
Maybe. I don't...
They just kind of label slap his name on it.
A lot of people do that, though, don't they? Do you not think?
Well, I feel like... What was the guy who did Reggae Sauce? Like, that was generally Levi Roots.
Levi Roots.
Yeah, see, like, that was his idea. I'm not sure... I was going to mention... who's the guy who does the sauces?
Lloyd Grossman.
It just turned into a cookery show. Yeah, Lloyd Grossman. What has he got to do with sauces? Did he make the sauce? Has he got anything to do with sauces at all? No, nothing.
He was on MasterChef, wasn't he?
Was he?
Yeah.
Vaguely related then, because it's a food show. He was just a presenter though, wasn't he? He wasn't cooking.
Yeah, but he used to do the tasting, didn't he?
Oh, well, anyone can taste.
What does that give you? What does that tell you? Wait, there was a sketch on it.
Rick and Bob.
Vic and Bob. They did a sketch on it, and he's got a huge head, and his hands are a knife and fork, and he sort of glides across the floor, and there's a guy there who basically puts his shoe on a plate, and he tells him it's a cake shoe. It's really weird. He's just like, it's a cakey shoe, like this. It's a shoe that's a cake. And then Lloyd Grossman's like, ew, you mean I ate a pair of your trousers at your restaurant last week? It's really bizarre, but yeah, that's what I remember from MasterChef.
I really apologise to anyone who's listening who's not from England, because they were probably with us up to Bob Dylan. They were probably with us on the whiskey bit, and then they went Levi Roots, Lloyd Grossman, and who the frick are Rick and Bob? And why are you talking about eating shoes? I feel like that's very, very UK specific.
It is, yeah. It's of a time, isn't it?
So that's a blatant bit of label slapping. Gibson have gone into administration.
Yeah, that's quite shocking, actually.
That is a bit worrying. So I read the first news article, which is on Sky News, and it was appallingly badly written, because they were saying they've run out of money, and the main reason is because people like Ed Sheeran, people are buying acoustic guitars and not electric guitars, and everyone's into hip hop, and so no one's buying guitars anymore. No. And they made some ridiculous, like only 1,000 or 1,000,000 guitars were sold in 2017. And I read a little bit wider. None of that is true.
Is it not?
No, none of it's true. That figure's wildly out of
scaremongering.
There's more people listening to play music, I think. The problem was they bought was it Philips or something like that?
They got bought by somebody, didn't they?
They basically bought a load of companies. They've tried to diversify into other things other than guitars.
Oh, that was it.
All the other bits aren't making money.
Yeah, like headphones and like CD players and things like that, which are nothing to do with the actual brand of Gibson. When you think of Gibson, you think of electric guitars, rock and roll. You think of guitar hero legends, don't you?
Yeah. So digging a little bit further, they are in administration, but it's mainly due to the other brands, and they probably just sell those brands off. I think they will probably be okay, but we'll keep looking. In any respect, if they do go under, someone will buy up the Gibson brand anyway. We've been talking about Biffy Clyro quite a bit on our podcast, not because we love them, although they are great, but just they keep coming up in conversation. They released MTV Unplugged today, or yesterday.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. I have like Nirvana and Alice in Chains, like MTV Unplugged, at like the pinnacle in terms of like awesomeness. But it was pretty good. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
Like the only thing that annoyed me was it's recorded in London.
Right.
And if something about British audiences, clap along to everything. It's really annoying.
They want to have a good time. That's what it is.
No, but there's this clap along. It's like, it's not a variety show. It's like...
Can you hear that, Dave? That's my clap. Can you hear me?
It just makes it sound really amateur. So the audience, you've ruined it. But it was pretty good. Sometimes think his voice is a little bit weak. I was expecting it to be, like, take the Kurt Cobain example. On Nirvana, he's massively exposed because he's not a great singer, but he's out there and he gives it like 110%, and it sounds... I mean, you can sense the tension of it not quite working, but working amazingly well.
Yeah.
I feel he's a little bit scared. Like he holds it back. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more. Nevertheless, it is really good. This is an amazing story. Have you got Amazon Prime?
No, I did have, and I got rid of it.
Okay, I watched the documentary. Have you heard this about the band called Death?
No.
Right, quick synopsis. Watch the documentary if you can. Documentary's called A Band Called Death.
Right.
I'm not giving anything away by telling you this because they say it in the first 30 seconds of a documentary.
Yeah.
Basically, there was a punk band in Detroit. 3 black guys, very rare for them to be playing like rock music, let alone like punk music. This was before punk was even a thing.
Yeah.
Like they basically invented punk. They recorded an album or a demo, and they went, and EMI, I think it was trying to sign them and said, right, we love your stuff, think it's really good, we want to sign you, but we want you to change the name because they were called Death.
Right.
And we're like, we're not going to release an album by a band called Death. It's just not going to sell.
Yeah.
The guys were like, we're not changing the name at all. They never got signed, and nothing ever happened with it. They kept the masters and put them in their attic or whatever. Yeah. They all got regular jobs, carried on. 30 years later, they're just doing... One of the guys a cleaner in a school and stuff.
Yeah.
30 years later, they suddenly blow up into like this massive thing and get really famous, and the guys don't know about it.
Oh, wow.
It's because one of their sons like found these master tapes in the loft and was like, what's this?
Yeah.
And just started playing it to his mates.
Yeah.
It got onto a local radio station, and then it went from there.
Wow.
And suddenly, like, their dads are like the biggest thing ever, and everyone's trying to find out who these people are. It is a brilliant, brilliant documentary.
That's pretty cool.
Definitely go and see it. I had a very weird thing happen to me as well.
What's
about crisps?
Oh, God.
I feel like I'm going to start you off on this.
This is, yeah.
No, I just had a really weird... I only remembered it kind of again today because I went to the same petrol station today on the way here. I walked into a petrol station a couple of weeks ago, and I went to pay, and the woman behind the counter, I went to pay, I looked at her, and she just looked at me. I thought she was going to say, what pump are you? What number are you?
Yeah.
She just looked at me and went, look at my tiny crisp. I was like, what? I looked, and I mean, it was quite small. Like, to be honest, it was quite small. Yeah, it's quite small, isn't it? He went, it's really small. I was like, okay, yeah, it's quite small. I said, to be honest, and I was trying to be funny then. I went, I didn't know if it was small or you were just far away. But it was like some kind of perspective thing. She went, no, it's not. It's really small.
Oh, God.
And then I just went, I'm like, pump number 8, please. And then she went, do you want to try one? Like, and my son, who's 7, I was talking to him about a podcast. He had 2 questions that he said he wanted me to do on the show.
Oh, okay.
I thought they were good questions, actually.
Cool.
He said, when you're playing music, what happens if you need the loo?
You hold on to it and you grimace and you get through until your break, and then when you finished your first set, even though Doris and Gladys and Bob will be trying to ask you what you're playing next, you make your excuses and you just run to the bathroom. Or you just exclaim in their face, "I'm going to piss myself!" like that. And then normally they tend to leave you alone.
You know when you see like older bands do it and they go off like a big instrumental and the singer goes off for a bit, I'm sure they're having a wee.
They must be, yeah.
They blatantly are.
Yeah.
The other question he had, which is along the same theme, what happens if you want a snack? I rather think he might have needed the wee and was hungry at the time he asked his questions. But they were his 2 questions he wanted to submit for our podcast. So what happens if you want a snack? I think you just have to sort of...
You have to exercise self-control.
Don't do what I did. I ate a packet of peanuts once and I thought I'd eat like a couple in between each song. Peanuts.
Oh, you choked on one.
No, peanuts. Yeah, peanuts were a nightmare. And they were like dry roasted as well, so not good. Like, if you're a singer, do not eat peanuts. They're just like...
Dry? Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, that's not good. I spent literally the next half an hour of the set going in between every like line of the song.
Yeah, I would say you can only really do one thing at a time. Like when you're swallowing food, your air hole closes up as a survival instinct, so you don't choke. So if you're trying to sing and then you eat something and then you go, "Oh, I've got to sing my line now," you probably will choke. And
it's not good. You don't see too many musicians eating while they're playing.
Singing a song while munching on a sandwich.
It's not good.
I mean, I've never tried it, but I'm probably going to say just either eat before.
I feel like the only way you can do it is if you have one of those things like Bob Dylan has for the harmonica.
Oh, you're just holding...
like a baguette.
Holding a BLT and you just munch across it.
Yeah, it's not good. I got told off by my wife for eating a BLT in bed the other night.
Oh.
It's not good, is it? It's not good. It's not the best thing to eat in bed either. You drop like bacon everywhere.
No, my cousin, he it's quite funny actually. He was staying at my nan's and he came down and he was washing all the sheets. I said, "Oh, what are you doing? You've only been here one night." He was like, "Yeah, well, I got drunk, didn't I? And I had a cheese and pickle sandwich, but I fell asleep in bed."
The shame. Oh man, pickle's not the best thing to... I mean, you're going to have to try and explain that one away.
Cheese and pickle everywhere.
It's pickle? Yeah, whatever. There's a washing machine.
Yeah. Oh, pickle, is it? Yeah, smell it. No, I'm good.
So what we were going to talk about tonight was songwriting. We had quite a few requests for a songwriting episode, and I think there's so much mileage in this. Yeah. We will probably do a number of songwriting episodes.
Yes.
But I wanted to talk about what makes a good song, and maybe before that, like, have you got any like famous? Have you got any favourite songwriters in particular?
I wouldn't say in particular. I mean, I appreciate a couple. So, for example, a few of who I would say are great songwriters and who I look up to for songwriting is people like Burt Bacharach, for example.
Yeah, he's a ledge.
Now, this one is a controversy. Lieber and Stoller. So, Jerry Lieber and Mike Stoller. They're responsible for the cheesy rock and roll thing that they did, the marketable rock and roll thing. I also really like the genuine rock and roll thing.
Were they I actually don't know them.
So they were in the Brill Building, which was in New York, I believe.
Oh, is that the one where they had a building of just songwriters?
Yeah, songwriters people would come and composers, and they would just literally churn out songs.
So the way I understand it, from what I listened to it last week on a documentary, was that people would come in and say, "Look, I've got a TV show and I need a song about this," and then you'd have like a bank of people just write. Yeah. For the afternoon going, "Oh, I'll do it," and write a new song. Yeah,
basically, it was just a huge building, and in each room there was maybe a piano, and then they just stick, your songwriters in there who were employed. They'd sit in there. Carole King worked there.
I was going to say Carole King
Neil
was
Diamond
one of the more famous ones out of there as well.
Yeah.
So these guys were called what?
Jerry Lieber and Mike Stoller. They always wrote as a pair, Lieber and Stoller. They wrote things like Hound Dog, loads of the Connie Francis stuff, like Stupid Cupid, I think they wrote. Yakety Yak.
Don't Look Back.
Yeah.
I love it when you find out, like, so many songs are written by the same people.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
So they wrote all that kind of stuff. Yeah, Burt Bacharach was Brill Building as well, I believe.
I believe that's
Darin.
that. Bobby Darin, yeah.
Johnny Mercer, he's actually a composer rather than an actual songwriter, but he wrote loads and loads of famous tunes, like Jeepers Creepers, one for My Baby and one for The Road, which I believe, did Frank Sinatra do?
Yeah, I think
that?
so.
Autumn Leaves, Neil Sedaka was
How much
there.
talent was in that building? Man?
Yeah, like literally everyone. And there was a UK equivalent of that in Denmark. Is it
Denmark Street in London?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so
That's
it's an
where
interesting fact. You know that Jimi Hendrix used to live on Denmark Street in a flat above one of the shops.
Yes.
And did you know that in the same flat, I'm going to look it up, I think it's Beethoven used to live in the same flat. I mean, they didn't flat share.
Can you imagine? This is my roomie.
They were like a good 200 years apart, but they lived in the same flat.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and actually if you go to London now, I will just look it up to make sure it's definitely Beethoven. I'm pretty sure it is. They've restored the flat half as Hendrix's flat and half as Beethoven, and you can go around and have a look at it.
That's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah, that is cool.
Well, and Carole King, I mean, has to be definitely in my top 3 songwriters of all time.
Yeah,
I mean,
Carole King's amazing.
The lady's just an absolute legend. And I mean, I love her solo stuff, but even she didn't really fancy having too much of a career as a solo artist. I think she sort of fell into it. But the amount of songs that she's written that you just don't know. It's like she's like Linda Perry is another one who was in Four Non Blondes. But I mean, she's written for Britney, Christina Aguilera, Lady Gaga. You know, I'm pretty sure Lady Gaga. I'd have to fact check that, but she's like the person behind pretty much the modern day Carole King, basically.
Yeah, there is quite a few. Like most of the songs, I think that you'll find consistently, I would say, in the sort of top 40 charts, that they're always written by the same handful of songwriters. Like usually, what happens is a songwriter will write a song and then they'll pitch it to an artist. So
yes,
that's quite traditional, and it still goes on now.
Well, it's the basis of country music, and the reason Nashville started as an industry, wasn't it, for a long time. That's literally how they work. They would bring in songwriters, bringing in demos every single day, and they'd go, "Oh, that's great. I need to find someone who can do this justice." And then, you know, I guess it's why in the 50s and 60s you had the same song being a hit, you know, 2 years apart by lots of different people.
Yeah, there's Motown, for example. So Motown is obviously a style of music, but obviously they had their own selection of songwriters that they'd always use. I believe, what's his name? Eddie Hendrix was even part of it. It was founded by Berry Gordy Jr. and he wrote stuff for Jackie Wilson all the time. Yeah, like Reet Petite and stuff like that. And Reet Petite was like that was like a double hit. So that came out, and then you know, in the 60s, and then it came out again in, I think, 1987.
I've got it on it. I think I've got the re-released one on some kind of compilation album.
I've got it on a vinyl.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like a remixed release of Reet Petite, but Smokey Robinson was part of Motown.
Yeah.
Like,
now, did he write his own stuff?
He did, but he also wrote for loads
people.
of other people. Yeah. Like a specific songwriter, they always have their own flavour. So, like, for example, we're going to take it back there, but Burt Bacharach, for example, you can tell if it's a Burt Bacharach song.
Yeah.
You know, he wrote the song, but then he would arrange it or change it specifically for a singer, and he always chose his singers for specific reasons. Cilla Black,
yep,
for example, Dionne Warwick, Elvis Costello. Weirdly enough, even though Elvis Costello is obviously a songwriter in his own right.
Yeah, but it seems like everyone's written for Elvis. Elvis Costello. The other one that everyone seems to have written a song that he does, or maybe he just covered a lot of songs, is Roy Orbison.
Yeah.
The amount of songwriters I find, and then they go, "Oh, he also wrote a song for Roy Orbison." It's like, God, did Roy ever write his own stuff? Like, lazy bugger. I think he's a really interesting style, Roy Orbison.
I just totally forgot one of the Cole Porter.
Ah, yeah.
I totally forgot. Like, that's really negligent of me, because that's really important.
Chris Christopherson springs to mind as, you know, one of the greatest songwriters I can think of. Just he's written so many songs that you know, but perhaps don't know were him. Or but do you know the song "Me and Bobby McGee"?
I think so.
I mean, I came to know that song through Janis Joplin.
Yeah.
And that's the version I think I actually prefer. There's one line, let me read this. Like this is genius. Freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose. Nothing don't mean nothing if it ain't free. It's genius. The more you think about that line, you think, geez, actually, yeah, that's so true.
Yeah,
and I love that. And I mean, for me, like Jackson Browne clearly is a big influence on me. There's a name of son after him. And for me, you know, he's probably what I try to be sometimes without, you know, subconsciously try to be when I'm writing songs.
Yeah.
You shouldn't try and be anyone else. But I just think I love him so much. I think that just kind of comes out.
Yeah.
Although I'm nowhere near as good, clearly. But I think that's a massive influence on me. But Adam Duritz from the Counting Crows has always been... Counting Crows have always been my favourite band.
Yeah.
He's such a good lyricist. I think people hear his whiny voice sometimes and think, oh...
And don't listen to the words.
Yeah, maybe it's not for me. And actually, he's one of those songwriters that writes... You know, if you take some of the early 50s songwriters, they were very upfront with what they were writing about. They were very obvious. They were good, really good, but very obvious. And then you sometimes get someone like Dylan or Adam Duritz that writes in a more of a sort of poetic kind of mysterious way. You're not too sure. You have to really down study the lyrics to see what they're going on about. But for me, I think it's just... I love it because I can listen to the song sometimes for like 5 years and not realise what it's about. And then you listen to it again and go, oh my God, that's actually about this. And then you listen to the lyrics and it's brilliant.
Yeah.
There's this might not translate very well if I just read the lyrics, but Anna Begins by Counting Crows has some of the most beautiful lyrics in it. It's clearly... I mean, I didn't really realise this till I really studied it. He's in a relationship with this girl. I think she's saying, you need to commit to me. And he's saying, I can't. I don't do it. I don't... This is not the way I work. It's just, you know, I'll say whatever you want me to say. If it makes you happy, I'll say what you want me to say, but that's not what I do. And what I like about it is it comes in and out of this... I care about you, I don't care about you, I care about you. Like, he knows he can't commit, but he also knows he deeply really loves her. And it's so good. Like the first line, my friend assures me it's all or nothing. No, I'm not worried, I'm not overly concerned. You know, my friend implores me just for one time only, make an exception. I'm not worried, is what he says. And then he goes on, wrap her up in a package of lies, send her off to Coconut Island. I'm not worried, I'm not overly concerned about the status of my emotions. And then she says, you're changing. And he says, oh, we're always changing. And it's just, it just goes on in that vein. It's just it's so poetic and so beautiful. So there's some great lyrics in songs. There's also some piss poor lyrics in songs.
Yeah, there's some pretty terrible ones.
Do you know what? I think before you read it out, songs don't always have to be about the lyrics, do they? I mean, I think clearly these songs are massively successful songs. Either people just aren't listening to the lyrics, or the melody is so good and so catchy that it translates.
Yeah, definitely.
It has to be.
I totally agree. So,
if you read out one of my songs, I'm going to be really upset.
It's not. Yeah, could you imagine? That would be hilarious. What?
This pile of shit.
What?
No, to be fair, I could trump you for every crap song of mine that you bring to the table. I could bring you 3 of mine. Especially the early stuff. It's terrible.
Right. So this song. Right. Let me just find an amazing line from here.
Oh, I can see what artist it is.
I was going to ask you to guess what it was.
Oh no, sorry, I cheated. Go on.
You gotta go and get angry at all of my honesty. You know I try, but I don't do too well with apologies. I hope I don't run out of time. Could someone call a referee? Because I just need one more shot at forgiveness.
It's not great. It's not a good start.
It's not, is it? I'll go, then you go out and spill the truth. I mean, what?
I don't know what that means.
I'll go, then you go. I mean, how many times do you want to say that? All right, we've got the point. You're going, and she's going, right? Or something, you know, I don't know. So that one, for me, I don't particularly enjoy that.
Who was that?
That was Justin Bieber with Sorry.
Now, he probably, to be fair to him, he probably didn't write that. It was probably Ed Sheeran.
I don't know if it was, because someone else wrote Ed Sheeran's latest one.
Yeah.
Didn't they?
Well, did someone write Perfect? No, he wrote Perfect, didn't he?
No, Perfect. I heard the original of Perfect the other day, and I can't remember who. It's a rip-off.
Is it?
It's a rip-off of a really old rock and roll song.
Rumbled.
Yeah, it is. I heard it. Oh my goodness me, it's on my Spotify, and I saved it because I was like, that's perfect.
I've got a story about this song. I'm going to wait till the end of this episode to tell you.
Right.
Not because I want to keep people hanging on, but I don't want to interrupt your flow. But
That's
it
okay.
involves the song Perfect by Ed Sheeran. I will.
Oh, amazing.
I will tell you about it later.
Yeah, because I think someone else wrote Shape of You. I think 4 other people or something wrote Shape of You, which was a big hit for him, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But he didn't write that, as far as I'm aware. He may have wrote part of it.
Quite often they have like songwriting credits when just they let them write a line or two and then...
Yeah.
I'll tell you another song in that vein. Bop by Hanson.
I don't even know the words to that.
You know the song?
I know the song.
No, I'll tell you the words. The reason you don't know the words is you mentally block them out because they're so freaking terrible. And I didn't realise how terrible it was until I was doing my homework for this. Listen to the state of this.
I'm
not going to attempt to sing it, although I may end up doing that because when you read lyrics in the right. I'm going to try not to sing Hanson. Okay. You have so many relationships in this life. Now, okay, before I say this, anyone who doesn't know Hanson, look him up. Maybe listen to the song. Pause this podcast. Go and listen to the song. Come back. And then listen to the lyrics. Mm-hmm. Because the important thing you need to mention is these guys are probably about 14.
Yeah, they're young.
Years old when they did this.
Little. Yeah,
like they were 14, 15, 16. I mean, God knows.
Yeah.
So they're 14-year-olds. Remember this, and they're talking about the first line. You have so many relationships in life. How many relationships have you freaking had? You're 14. A relationship with your teddy. That's about it. So anyway, you have so many relationships in this life. Only 1 or 2 will last. You go through all the pain and strife. Then you turn your back, and they're gone so fast. Ooh yeah. They're gone so fast. Yeah. Ooh. So hold on the ones who really care, and in the end, they'll be the only ones there. And when you get old and start losing your hair, can you tell me who will still care?
Wow. Do you know what? I didn't even know the words at all.
Ridiculous.
Like, when it comes on the radio or whatever, and it does all that... I don't even know what the words are. No. I've never have done.
Yeah, that's all I hear.
Yeah, that's same. And then it comes to the chorus, and that's not even words either. That's just, isn't it? It's not even.
It's a very strong melody. I'll give it that. But
that's the only thing it has. It doesn't have any memorable.
Oh, it's just. The other song that springs to mind is that song by Crash Test Dummies. Now, I happen to really like that song.
Right.
And it doesn't need... What I like about it is it doesn't need a chorus. That is the chorus. If you haven't heard the song, it goes... Do you know the song?
No.
Do you not know the song?
No.
Right, go and listen to it.
I will.
But the verses are really good. They're really good.
You sold it to me with the...
in fact, I've sold it, so I'm not going to read the verses because I want you to listen to the song.
All right, I will then.
I feel like I'll ruin it if I tell you it.
Okay.
But yeah, no, that was in the 90s. Do you remember that song? Crash Test Dummies.
No, I remember I remember Crash Test Dummies. I also remember there was this song, and it may have been Hanson, but I don't think it was. I think it was another group very similar to them. That's my dog, if you can hear him. All right. And it went something like, 'cause I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, 24 hours from you.
Oh, who is that?
Oh, got a one-way ticket and coming on out of the blue. Been on a roller coaster.
See, I don't really know the song, but I'm liking that. That's nice.
I thought it was quite cool, but I don't know who that was by. But I remembered that. It was a group. I'm going to Google it.
Okay. While you Google it, can I just read you the lyric? So
yeah.
Again, if you're not from England or Ireland, then good on you because you won't have heard this song probably. Bewitched. Do you remember Bewitched?
I love Bewitched.
Oh, what is the matter with you? Right.
Next of Kin. They were called Next of Kin, and they were from Baintree in Essex.
Oh, brilliant! Well done, you. Honestly, you like them?
Yeah.
Bewitched. Right. This is the lyric. I'll let you defend them then. This is the lyrics to C'est la vie. I say, hey boy, sitting in a tree. Mummy always wants you to come for tea. Don't be shy. Straighten up your tie. Get down from your treehouse, sitting in the sky.
Yeah.
I want you to know just what to do. Is it very big? Is there room for 2? I got a house with windows and doors. I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
Yeah. Gotta let me in. Hey, hey, hey. Let the fun begin. It's a euphemism, obviously, for
I'm the wolf
I'll
today.
get my
Hey,
bits
hey.
out, you get yours out. You
Oh,
gotta
I
let
know,
me
but-
in.
If I was let's be honest. It's been a long time since I tried to be sexy. But if I was trying to be sexy,
I never think
like,
I'd cover it up. There's,
listen to the next line. Like if I ever said this to someone in an attempt to get in their pants, I'm the wolf today. I'll huff, I'll puff, I'll huff, I'll puff, I'll blow you away.
I'll huff,
Come on,
I'll
baby.
puff, I'll give you a blowy. It's basically what it's saying.
For God's sake.
I know, but what can I say? That's the only thing people really know what to sing about, isn't it? Really, they're just like, oh, what is there to sing about? Oh, relations. That's pretty much. That's pretty much.
It's smut. I don't appreciate smut.
I
do appreciate smut.
Well, in the right context.
It's just rubbish.
It's pretty bad. Blame It on the Weatherman's pretty good though.
Blame it on the weatherman.
Yeah, that's a Bewitched song.
Is it? I'm just thinking of this is lost. I think we've just lost our US US listeners. I keep thinking of the one about Michael Fish. What was that one?
I don't know.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. It was John Ketley is a weatherman, a weatherman, a weatherman. John Ketley is a weatherman.
That sounds like a
and so is
Brownies
Michael
song.
Fish.
That sounds like something they sing at Brownies or Girl Guides or something.
Do you not know that song?
No, I know.
Ah, it's genius.
Right, there's this song. Right, okay. So when I was in Brownies and Girl Guides and all of that stuff when I was really young, we used to sing this song. But to me, the word "ghoulie" means something dirty.
Oh my God!
Like,
I haven't
obviously,
had that word in about 20 years, probably 30 years.
right? So a ghoulie could be like a ghost, but to me, ghoulies are your private bits, right? Specifically, a male's private bits is your ghoulies, right? And we used to sing this song that went ging gang ghoulie 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 watcha ging gang goo ging gang goo,
God.
right?
Yeah.
What is that about?
I feel like even the dog's unhappy with that.
No.
Yeah, no, what is that about? It's weird, isn't it?
And the one that's the takeaway song.
What's that? See, when you requested live music on this show, you didn't expect this, did you? Go on.
I want to go something like Pizza Hut,
A
Pizza Hut, Kentucky Fried Chicken and a Pizza Hut,
Yeah.
McDonald's.
You started really high, I can't get up at her.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, we used to sing that as well.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure. Didn't somebody cover that? And it actually charted, didn't it?
Yes,
Last.
it did.
Was it? It wasn't Last Ketchup or whatever they're
think it
called.
probably was.
Because they
No.
did something else.
Oh, did they do the Ketchup song?
They did. Hey, shit, they did that
This
one.
is the genre we're talking about. The melody is so strong, like Gangnam Style.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if people don't know it. That's why a lot of English songs are really popular on the continent, and people have no idea what they're singing.
No.
And I love watching people sing. You get like people in like Spanish bars who are they're making up what they think the words are. It's incredibly good.
Do you know what the best example of that is? Ken Lee.
Yes.
Ken Lee. Which is obviously not Ken Lee. The song is called Can't Live. And the woman, she says, Ken Lee, a libba dibba da choo.
It's genius.
Which is amazing. And she actually says, no, it's Ken Lee. The song is called Ken Lee.
I love it when people get words wrong. Like there's so many like lyrics you think say one thing and says the other.
Yeah, I got a Sister Sledge one. Everyone, right? So it sounds like it says "Staple the Vicar," right?
Oh, what's the song? I can't.
We are family.
Oh yeah.
And the words are "State for the record." Just let me state for the record, like that. But everybody thinks they say, "Just let me state for the vicar."
I looked them up to see if there was any that I regularly do, and there was a couple, but there's some brilliant ones on the net. People,
Oh, amazing.
We built this city on sausage rolls.
Yes.
Saving his life from this warm sausage tea.
What's that?
That's spare him his life from this monstrosity.
Oh, there's quite a few Queen ones, isn't there?
Yeah, there is quite a few. So Purple Haze by Jimi Hendrix.
Oh, Kiss This Guy.
Yeah, exactly. See, there's lots of ABBA ones. I feel like I shouldn't go there.
Yeah, I don't think you should. It might anger you.
I feel like, yeah, it's just going to... Sweet Dreams Are Made of Cheese.
Really?
Those are some really good ones. One of the Queen ones is Kicking Your Cat All Over the Place.
Yeah.
So there's a thing, ambiguity in songs. There's a thing. Have you ever heard of the term MacGuffin?
No, I don't think so.
Right, let me explain what MacGuffin is. Now, I only found out about this recently. I'm aware of the concept, but I didn't know it had a name.
Right.
And I certainly didn't know about it in songs.
Mm-hmm.
So I was listening to another podcast, actually, around country music, and they were talking about the song Ode to Billy Joe. She tells a story about some guy who threw himself off a bridge, basically.
Right.
And at one point in the lyrics, one of the characters mentions they saw this girl who's singing the song, and the guy who died, throwing something off a bridge. And then it's not mentioned ever again in the rest of the song. They were saying it's called a MacGuffin. And actually, so I've done a little bit more reading about it. It's actually a cinema technique, and it's something that helps one of the characters in their story arc, move through. It's either a motivating thing or something, but it's never explained to the audience, and it actually doesn't matter. So the example I rounded up with was Meat Loaf.
Right. Okay. That.
Well, yeah. So there's so much about I would do anything for love, but I won't do that.
Yeah. What is that?
And there was so much debate around that. And does it matter that you don't know what that is in the song?
Yeah.
See, when you write a song, do you write the lyrics first or the chord?
So sometimes I start off with a lyrical, sort of a vocal hook maybe, rather than a lyrical hook. I start off with maybe a hook in my head and I sing it over and over and over again and see if I can develop it. And then I record it. And then what I do is I sit down with the guitar and then I work out what key I've been singing this hook in.
Probably in pocket, isn't it?
Probably. And then I do something very, very, very geeky after I've worked out what vague key it's in, and I write down a cycle of fifths, and then I work out how I could possibly, what other chords I could use, where I could take it, and then I just sit down and strum until I find something that sounds...
That is geeky.
That is, isn't it?
No, but that's
I take a very logical, geeky approach to songwriting.
So when you write songs, do you write the lyrics first or the chords?
I kind of wrote them both at the same time.
I don't always have an idea about what the song's going to be about when I write it. Sometimes I do, but very rarely. Mm-hmm. Normally I get the chords first, and then at some point I will write some lyrics for it.
Mm-hmm. So I'm not actually going to play guitar and sing my songs, not because I can't. Just you just have to bear with the fact that some of the vocals may be flat as a pancake, and so I'm going to showcase two of my songs. One song that is still currently developing all the time, I change it quite a lot and I always keep going back and rewriting parts of it, and then another one which I solidly finished and I actually wrote straight after watching an episode of Jules Holland, actually, because I was just I need to get this. I got an idea straight in my head and I needed to get it out. But this one is called Chase the Day version 2.
Always on your own, the ways you could have grown, you'll always stay the same. What's the world a game? Life is to be played, sometimes the pieces move, showing you can change, but you stay the same. Look into your eyes, make them open wide. Look into the sky, see the birds that fly high. Freer than this, freer than your way, your way. You're looking through the glass, glancing at the sun you have behind the clouds in your mind. Why don't you come and play? Chase the day away, chase the day away.
yeah, that's constantly always under construction. I've changed the words a few times, and also changed where I play it as well, because I've played it quite high and then I realised it's far too high for me. One of the songs that I was kind of renowned for, and I used to just, it became a joke in the end, I used to just call it the only song I ever wrote, because no one else would ever remember any of my other songs. So I'm going to play that one for you as well. I'm just going to play a verse and a chorus for that. And there's no fancy bits, there's no middle eights, it's just simple, to the point kind of song. But it's called She's Dying Without You. I know, nice and happy. Yeah, so that was an oldie.
I like that. That's quite haunting.
Yeah, it's...
I mean, I feel like it's not very upbeat for, like, you know, to play at an open mic and stuff. But, like...
No, it makes people shut up when you play it at open mics.
I love it, though. It sounds... it reminded me of Mary Lou Lord. I don't know if you know Mary Lou Lord.
It rings a bell.
She was a kind of songwriter in Portland. She used to go out with Kurt Cobain before Courtney.
Mm.
And she mainly did other people's songs, but I think your voice on that and maybe the recording, she did an album where she recorded it on a subway, and it was really nice and echoey and all that kind of stuff. Mm. It really reminds me of that. Right, I've got a game that'll shut you up to finish this episode up.
Woohoo!
I thought, since we're talking about songs and songwriting, I would pick some very famous songs and see if you can guess what year they came out.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And you've got some for me, I think, haven't you?
I do.
I feel like I'm going to suck at this. I'm always, like, people put me on their teams, quiz teams, because they think I'm going to be great at the music round. I'm not. I've got a very in-depth knowledge about stuff that is not particularly widely known. Like, I'm not going to know most of the music stuff. Anyway, my excuse is over and done with.
Okay.
What should we do? Should we go 10 each, or should we give one each? I'll tell you what, give one each, and we'll best at 10, yeah? I'll give you one, you give me one.
Yeah, all 10, okay. Yeah?
Yeah? And then we answer them, point for a correct answer.
Okay.
And see who gets the most.
Okay.
Yeah? This is possibly the worst game show in the world.
No, it's great.
It's great. You're so excited.
I really am. I love games like this.
I wonder if we've got the same song. So I've tried to pick songs that we've kind of referenced as well tonight, and as well as some others. So my first one for you is Hotel California.
I'm not even sure. I think like 74, but I'm not... I think I'm way out. I think they're later than that.
Final answer? I don't know why I've turned into like Chris Tarrant.
Phone a friend or...
Phone a friend, but you don't have any, so...
Phone your granny, what?
Final answer?
Yeah.
76.
Damn!
Close.
Close.
No cigar.
Close.
Go on
Okay, so my one is a tune. Right, so this song is by Terence Trent D'Arby, and it's called If You Let Me Stay.
Oh my God, how weird is that, right? We were talking about this last night in the restaurant.
Were you?
Someone walked past, or someone started singing, If You Let Me Stay. And we were like, that is a tune. We started talking about that last night. What we didn't talk about was what year it was. Terence Trent D'Arby. I mean, he was very 80s. I feel like he was very firmly in the 80s. Now it would have... I don't think it was early 80s, because the 80s sound didn't really kind of pick up until like 83, 84. And he didn't have an 80s sound. I'm trying to think of the drums. He didn't have that kind of gated kind of drum thing going on. Still quite soul-y. I'm going to go for 86.
Oh, so close. 87.
Damn you, Terence.
I know.
Oh, okay, 0-0.
But he wrote that himself.
Did he?
Yes.
That is a tune. If you don't know the song, listen to it. Vocal performance-wise, he nails it.
He does. He's got this bit at the end where he goes, If you let me stay, like that, and it is phenomenal.
Amazing. All right, so 0-0. No one got any points. I would do anything for love,
but I won't eat that. Oh, crikey.
I'm surprised. I don't know if this gives anything away, but I'm surprised at the date.
Yeah, because when I think of it, I think
I know
that
what I was
was like
doing when
late
this came
80s. I think it's like 89 or something like that. But then I think, when did Meat Loaf really hit its big time?
I was in youth club when it came out. So if that helps.
That does not help me.
Oh, okay. So I thought it would help.
Doesn't help. Actually, I'm going to say early 90s. I'm going to say, I'm going to be controversial. I'm going to say 91.
93.
Damn!
It's late, isn't it? I thought it was earlier than that.
Yeah.
Like 93.
It sounds
late.
80s, but...
Because Bat Out of Hell must have been 70?
Yeah, it must be 77 or something like that.
So I feel like his career was all in that area, but no, it was 93.
Yeah. I hope you know this one. It's a song called Don't Let Go, and it's by a girl group called On Vogue.
Yeah, I would say In Vogue, but yeah. Yes, I do know the song. Not enough to sing it, but I do know it.
So it goes...
Go on, if you want to sing it to me.
What's it gonna be? 'Cause I can't pretend, no. Don't you wanna be? That one?
Yeah. Clearly I know it, because I was singing along like a... Okay, so I think this is 90s. Feels 90s to me. 91.
96.
96?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, it had 6 songwriters on it.
Wow. 6?
6 songwriters. One of them, Andrea Martin, who writes for Tony Braxton, and another quite renowned songwriter called Sleepy Brown, who writes for TLC and Outkast.
See, it's very TLC sounding, that song.
Yeah, it is. It's got...
Don't chase the waterfall.
Yeah, it's just... Yeah, and I guessed... Before I got the actual date they released, I guessed what dates they came out before, and I'll show you as well, so you know that I'm not fibbing. But I guessed that it came out in 97, so I was 1 year out.
Oh, okay, so you were in the right ballpark. I thought it was earlier than that.
Yeah, it's kind of strange, isn't it?
96?
96.
Okay, so Gangnam Style.
Oh, crikey, that's recent, isn't it? That's like...
Well, that's why I thought it was tricky, because I
2012.
got this wrong, you little cheater. Yes, you're just completely right. Well done. I thought it was more recent than that. No. Okay, 1-0.
Boosh.
Oh, I missed one out. Okay, but it doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't matter
we'll
what's
do
on the
that
list, does it? 1-0 to you.
Okay, this song, iconic, Think, by Aretha Franklin.
Think. Now, I want to say that's in the 60s. I think it's in the 60s. I'm going to go 64.
It's close. It's 68. It's the later end. And Aretha Franklin wrote it with a gentleman called Teddy White.
Teddy White. I had a white Ted.
There you go. I was 1 year out on that as well. I guess 67.
I'm still lagging behind. Okay, Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh, now, see, I want to say 70s, but I'm not sure if Freddie Mercury was actually writing, because that was like the pinnacle, wasn't it? Really.
Well, it's certainly the most famous song. I don't know
it was
whether
like
it
in
was.
the swing of it, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. It was.
Because like I want to say like the 80s stuff for Queen was like, I want to break free. That was like
it went
80s.
It went very 80s sound, didn't they?
Yeah,
like
so
One
I think,
Vision.
Yeah,
that kind of stuff.
That was like towards the end.
Yeah.
I think it's like maybe 70, late 70s. I reckon maybe 77.
75. You're close. I like your thinking on that one. So halfway point. Did I go first? I didn't think I did, didn't I?
Yeah, you went first.
Yeah. So it's 1-0. It's a pretty poor show, isn't it? Out of 10 songs, we've got one right. This is. I would smash this. You probably will as well. Smells Like Teen Spirit.
94.
Ha! 91. Damn! God, I was really worried that you'd get that straight away.
Too late. I'm too late. I got a tricky one.
Go on then.
And I'll explain why it's a tricky one.
Because I've never heard of it, probably.
No, you will have
okay.
heard of it. It's called At Last by Etta James, or it was performed by Etta James.
Okay. Now, what I know about Etta James, she sung I'd Rather Go Blind, right? So that's that Etta James.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to say 60s, but I think she was actually later than that. I think she was maybe 70s. I've definitely seen her on footage of her singing on TV shows in the 70s. Whether that means that was near the end of her career. Oh, man. Could even be 80s. It could even be 80s. That's really hard, because it could be anything from... I don't even know how old she is. It could be anything from 50s to 80s, I think. So I'm going to go with my hunch. I'm going to say 72.
Right, I'll tell you why it's a tricky one.
Did she re-release it?
Not quite. So she released it in 1960, but it was actually written in 1942 by Matt Gordon and Harry Warren for Glenn Miller.
Okay.
So that's why it's got that orchestration.
Right.
Which makes it sound really old. But then obviously
It wasn't recorded until the 60s.
Yeah, so 60s. She recorded an arrangement with vocals on it in the 60s, which is why it's got that nostalgic feel.
That's
a tricky one.
That's really hard.
But yeah, so originally it was Glenn Miller.
Faith, George Michael.
I think it's going to be later than what I think it is. But I think it's like 84. But I think it's later than that. Like, if deep down, I think it's later than that. But that's
your answer's what? 84?
Yeah.
87.
I was going to fucking say it. I was like, it can't be 87.
It's actually really hard. Go on.
Baby Love.
Baby Love, my baby. Now, who? I feel like that's been done by a couple of artists.
The Supremes.
Yeah, that's the one you want. Is that the original? I imagine it is.
Yeah, the one that goes, ooh, baby love. Starts off like that.
Yeah. Was my impression not good enough?
No.
Supremes. Jesus. I think they were the 60s. They could have even been 50s. Again, they could have been 70s. So they were sort of the Motown stuff in... just thinking about what I'm thinking about, which was that when I told you that story about Death earlier, that band Death, came out of Detroit, and it was right at the back end of the Motown stuff, and that was early 70s. So I feel like Motown was predominantly 60s, early 70s. So I'm going to say 60. I want to go earlier. I'm going to say 65, but I feel like it could be a lot earlier.
Oh, you got my guess. My first guess was 65. It was actually 64, 1 year out.
Oh, gee.
Yeah, and it was Motown's golden years.
Yeah.
Holland Dozier and Holland, which were one of their main songwriters. Motown.
Yeah, I knew it was slap bang in the middle of that whole Motown thing.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm still got no points, have I? 4 left. Let It Be.
Okay, 67. That's just off the top of my head.
1970. I would have said 60s as well.
Damn. All right, this is a tune. September by Earth, Wind and Fire.
74.
Ah, No, it's later. And this surprised me because I guessed 73. It's actually 1978.
Oh, mother fluffer.
I know, right?
Oh.
I know, right?
Okay. I've got 3 chances left. I need to get one, at least to get one all. Okay. Stairway to Heaven. I like your choice of songs, by the way.
Yeah, I went a bit random, didn't I?
No, I like them. They're good.
Stairway to Heaven. I always get really confused on when this era was. And because I just rubbish at it. But I think 73, but I think it's later.
71.
2 years out.
Yeah, that I would have gone later as well because it was on their 4th album.
Yeah, but it's...
So I didn't realise they started in like late 60s. I thought they were 70s.
Yeah, that's where I always get confused, where the changeover, you know, when it went from sort of like folk to rock. This one, Groove is in the Heart by Delight.
Now, I know this very well. I want to say it was... So I think I know this from the 80s or 90s, but I don't think that's the original. I'm probably thinking that the song I'm thinking of is probably like a dance remix of it. I'm probably sure it is. I'm going to be wildly out. I'm going to say 92.
No, very close. 1990.
Ah.
It had 5 songwriters on it, including Herbie Hancock.
Herbie Hancock from
Yeah.
Hancock's Half Hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Herbie Hancock. And it's
wouldn't have
obviously
had him
got
done to write that song.
Bootsy Collins in it. So it's got...
Yeah.
So that's why it feels a lot older than...
Yeah. That's
That.
why I felt like it was an old song that was made into a dance song.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Okay, I've been a right arse with this next one.
Oh, good.
Mr. Blobby.
Hang on, let me think.
You're probably going to get it now, aren't you?
Right. When was Noel's house party frickin'
Again,
massive?
if you're from anywhere other than the UK, then that's not going to make any sense to you at all.
95.
Oh, it's 96. How close are you? So, listen, if you get this one, you've won. And I've got to get this next one of yours to draw. Living on a Prayer. I feel like I've served up an easy one as well.
89, I don't know.
Oh, 86. Okay, I need this one badly.
Rock DJ, Robbie Williams.
Oh, okay. So, he was still in Take That until the late 90s. Was it one of his first songs? He did Let Me Entertain You before that, I think. I think he did Angels before that. So I feel like it would have been like 2002, 2001, something around that ilk. I might be wildly out. 2001.
1 year out, 2000.
Oh, man.
I guess 2001 as well. It is famous because he stripped in the video, and not only did he strip to his, ghoulies, he also stripped his skin off.
Oh yeah, he did, didn't he? He went so further.
Yeah, he wrote it with Guy Chambers, who's a really famous songwriter that we didn't mention earlier.
That's a fun quiz. Maybe we won't do it every week, but we should have a return match at some point.
Yeah, that was pretty cool, isn't it?
Given that we got 1 out of 10 was the winning score. That is appalling. Let me tell you this story, because I promised you at the beginning I had a weird thing about Ed Sheeran.
Right, yeah.
I get loads of random gig requests, right? Now I feel like this is, for me, the worst gig request I could have got this week, because it combines 2 of my biggest fears, Ed Sheeran and heights.
Oh, God.
Right, so this is weird. And there's a really badly worded email, but I get asked to play a lot of engagements.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, not engagements, like proposals. Mm-hmm. And I never do them. I think we might have even talked about this before.
Yeah.
I never do them because, frankly, it's like playing one song and it's like, you don't know who they are and you're hanging around. It's not like, I'm just going to randomly burst into song at any couple I think might be the couple I'm waiting for. Like, it's just weird. It's just, I don't want to do it. What if I say no? It's embarrassing, isn't it? Anyway, some guy emailed me this week and said, are you free on this certain day? I want to book you. I want to propose to my girlfriend. At this point, I've already mentally gone, I'm not doing it, but I'll read the rest of the email. He goes, I want to go... It was so badly worded, I'm not quite sure what he meant by this, but he said, I want to go to the Olympic Stadium in London, and what I'd like to do is... This is what I think he meant. He wants to climb up to the gantry where they have the Olympic torch. So he's going to say to his girlfriend something like, do you want to put on some climbing gear and climb up to the thing? And when they get to the platform and come over the edge, I'm there singing Perfect by Ed Sheeran with a sign on me saying, will you marry me?
But that makes it sound like,
I know.
do you want to marry?
I know, it's weird. Well, that wasn't the bit I was worried about. Like, hopefully she would have worked it out pretty quick.
Let's hope so.
But I was like, no, I ain't doing that. How am I going to get up there with a guitar? I'm scared of heights. And I hate Ed Sheeran. It's like my worst gig. Like, would you like to stand on a platform, like 100 foot up in the air and sing a song you hate?
Yeah, with gusty wind blowing you.
Just imagine them coming over the ridge. Hello.
Yeah, but then what if they see the top of your head before they get over the thing,
It's
and they're
weird,
just like,
isn't it?
"Wow, there's a man back here."
I'm sure he meant that. I'm sure I read it about 3 times. I'm sure he meant like climbing up, like properly climbing up. I mean, he might have meant abseiling down, but then that would have been even weirder, and they would have seen me.
Yeah.
Or am I coming down? No, I wouldn't be abseiling down, would I?
Not with the guitar. I mean, not unless
random, wouldn't it? That would look like that Boris Johnson when he got on that zip wire.
I got stuck.
Yeah, I'm just sort of swinging in the breeze, singing.
Hang in there.
Perfect. Yeah, it's just not happening.
Well, you get some really.
I did
weird
get some.
stuff,
I've got 2 or 3 really good ones. I've been pulling them back because I don't want to use up all of my stories.
You should get a little what they call a GoPro.
I've got a GoPro, yeah.
And just make them sign a waiver saying, can I film your event and put it on my website or whatever? But, for promotional purposes or whatever, And then maybe just capture the best bits and make a you've been framed...
show reel of me doing weird shit.
Just weird stuff, like 2 people sensually eating cake while you're serenading them.
It'd be like that video you showed me the other day.
Which one?
That makes it sound really dodgy.
It does.
No, that singer guy.
I can't remember.
With the long hair.
Oh, he was an accordion player, wasn't he? That was amazing. Oh my goodness, yeah. And he had no reviews on his page, but the video was obviously from a film.
Yeah.
But
it was weird. I didn't realise that to begin with.
Yeah, neither did I. I thought it was actually his show reel, and it looks like he's at an old people's home. And first of all, it looks like a wake, doesn't it? It looks like a funeral. And he's got his accordion and he's going around and he's singing in Russian, I believe.
Yeah.
And he's playing the accordion and just going up to the side of these old ladies and then sort of singing really loudly in their ear and then moving on, but really, really elegantly.
My favourite bit, and this is not going to mean nothing to anybody, or we maybe should think about whether it's appropriate to post the video or not. Maybe we will. But my favourite bit is at the end, he just sort of comes into frame of the camera, like just sort of, hello. It's amazing.
It's when you don't know what's going on, and then all of a sudden this ratchet cake comes out, doesn't it? It's like a really poorly decorated cake, and they're all like, obviously singing happy birthday in Russian. And they're like, but it's really operatic singing as well, isn't it? It's like, la, 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 like this.
No one looks like they're enjoying themselves, are they?
And they all start clapping, don't they?
It's random.
His hair is amazing as well. It's just long blonde.
Oh, it looks like the most, perfectly blow-dried, Dracula you've ever seen.
Yeah, he's majestic.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like we're not really taking the piss out of him.
He is actually
good, man. He's
amazing.
Just weird.
It's funny, but at the same time, you're like, yeah, no, that was actually really, really good. That's why it's so amazing. I love it. I've got it saved as a bookmark on my phone.
We should just book him. We should just book him for a gig.
I don't think I can afford him. He's really expensive.
Anyway, we should sign off because we've been chatting for ages.
Yeah.
Hope you enjoyed the quiz. We will see you very soon.
Yeah, thanks. Bye.
Thanks for listening.